So the general alarm has sounded, and you're Cadet 12 and 13, or 13. You guys are a team. You guys or gals are a team. So 12 and 13 work together under the emergency squad scenario because your job description is identical. Your job is to provide ventilation. So that doesn't mean you just bring a fan out here and blow air around or something else, a piece of paper or something. Your job is to provide portable ventilation at the request of the scene leader. So let's take, for example, a scenario where there might be a fire somewhere on the ship and the scene leader is requesting portable ventilation. That's when you jump into action, right? So you would have to know where this portable ventilation is in the first place. We've got them in 4 locations strategically located throughout the ship, because it would be kind of silly to have all of them in the same spot, because if that location where we keep them all is the problem area, then we've lost all our portable ventilation. It's gone. So we keep them spaced out. So if we're working forward to aft, here's where they're located. The first one forward, we're working forward, we're going to move our way aft, is in number 1 hold on the workbench on the forward bulkhead. Number 1 hold is the location of the first one. The second one, as we're moving our way back, is in the EM shop, which is right across from the ship's laundry. It's in that small passageway area there. So inside the EM shop is the location for number 2 on top of the cabinets there. It's bungee corded in place. They're all bungee corded down so they don't move around. And then working our way, continuing aft, the next one you would find would be up here out on the weather deck. Actually not on the weather deck, but accessible from the weather deck, right there in the clip shack that's directly behind you. Inside that clip shack is another portable ventilation fan with the ventilation trunk. All that stuff's included, and it's a package deal. And then working your way aft, the last one you're going to find is back there in aft steering underneath the cabinet, right? Underneath the counter, I should say. There's that. So your job is to provide ventilation at the request of the scene leader. Now, another thing you might want to think about is that the cord on the blower, because it is an electric operated blower, is only so long. So you might be in a location where there's not a power source directly available. So we keep 2 extension cords in the repair locker for that use only for emergency use, right? It's not a place for a conveniently find extension cord. Those are for emergency use only, in respect to responding to an emergency. So Cadet 12 and 13, you should know where all these blowers are, where the extension cords are. Now, another thing you want to think about is that, say for example, there is a fire in number 1 hold. Obviously, we're not going to go there and use that blower because there's a fire in there. There's people in there responding with SCBAs on. So if I'm going to take a blower over there or provide ventilation, I'm not going to think, well, I need the one out of number 1 hold. That's the problem area. I would pick the one right here in the clip shack because I'm back here on the fantail already. I can grab it right out of there. My counterpart can go grab the extension cords, and we can meet somewhere and communicate with the scene leader and take care of business. And it's just that easy. 12 and 13, provide ventilation. So the portable ventilation fan that's located in the most forward position is here in number 1 hold, and it's normally zip tied down, I should say bungee corded down to the counter / desk that's behind me. I've taken it off there so I can demonstrate and show you the parts and pieces of this particular blower. Obviously we have the power cord right here. There's a little Velcro strap on there so that it's coiled up. So one of the things that if you're inspecting these, you want to make sure that the connection's in good shape and you hand over hand the entire power supply to make sure it's not damaged and that its grounding prong is in place and everything looks serviceable, and it does. So I can plug it into an outlet and it's ready to go. Now this is a 2-piece unit right here. This side has ventilation trunk in it. Get this off of here. And it disconnects. So inside here's the ventilation trunk. I can pop the cap off of here and run that ventilation trunk to outside the skin of the ship, or I can pull air from outside of the skin of the ship and blow it into the skin of the ship. I'm going to set this aside. I just want to talk about the blower itself. Now, the on-off switch located next to where the power goes in. What it sounds like when it's running. I'll shut it off so you won't have to listen to that. But this gives me an opportunity to set positive ventilation or negative ventilation. Well, what does that mean? Well, on this side of the blower, you'll see there's an embossed arrow. So this is the direction of flow when the blower's in operation. This is the suction side with the screen on it. This has a screen as well. This is the discharge side. So this keeps body parts out of there. I mean, you really got to try to get something in there to get close to them blades. And if you can reach in there and touch that while it's spinning, well, you're a knucklehead. Don't do that. So what I mean by positive or negative ventilation, since I can hook the trunk up to either side of this, I have options here. So if I've set the trunk up to this side, on the suction side, and this blower is in this compartment, and I can run the trunk up topside somewhere, I'm setting positive ventilation. So I'm bringing air from outside and putting it inside. So that's setting positive ventilation. So I'm actually pressurizing the space. Not enough to where you feel it or hear it or whatever, sense it, whatever your spidey senses are, but it's setting positive ventilation. So I'm bringing fresh air in. If I've got a lot of smoke in here and I want to pull it out of here and blow it to a weather deck, I can take the fan up topside and still leave the trunk hooked up to the suction side, but the fan itself would be outside and the trunk would be down in here, and I'm sucking air out of here and smoke or whatever noxious fumes there would happen to be. That is setting negative ventilation. So if I'm pulling air out of a compartment, I'm setting negative ventilation. If I'm pushing air into a compartment, I'm setting positive ventilation. So as I head aft from number 1 hold, I'll find the EM shop where we have some SCBAs, some firefighting ensembles, and the next blower. So continuing aft, the third location, as we're moving from forward to aft, would be the clip shack. And look at here, big red letters, portable ventilation. So I would expect to find, along with spill response stuff in here, the third fan. There it is. So the portable ventilation that's located furthest aft on the ship is right here in aft steering. So if you're going to provide portable ventilation, you might find yourself in a scenario where the cord for the blower is not long enough to get to the nearest outlet. So here at the repair locker, which is located on the port passageway main deck, just aft of the galley, there's a lot of stuff in here, damage control related stuff. So one of the things is up here on the hook, I've got 2 extension cords up here. That's what they're for emergencies. If I need to add power to a blower that's not near an outlet somewhere. These are not for general use. These are specifically designed and placed here for emergency use only, not convenience.